How's it going, guys? It's Poetry Son, and welcome to a bit of a different video than normal. This is the Indian Insurgency campaign, but bad news. We're gonna be, well, kind of. We're gonna be wrapping up the campaign here, and you may be surprised because this is the 6th episode. We're only 6 episodes in. Why are we doing this? Well, I will show you why. I have been. Let's just say I've been thinking about it, and well, first off, it doesn't seem like people really want to see this campaign that much as they wanted to see other campaigns and stuff, which I understand. And I have my own issues with the game that make me not really feel like playing it anymore for a while. I don't know, because here's the thing. I came back to Together for Victory and have been enjoying it greatly, and I like the actual gameplay of this game for the most part. But I have some issues with it. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. This is probably going to be a 5-6 minute video, and it's basically going to be a little bit of a rant about what I think needs to be done to Hearts of Iron 4. So, you know, this is a little bit of a departure from my normal formula for videos, especially since I won't actually be playing the game. So I hope you guys don't mind, especially since this is going to be the end of, you know, the end of the freaking series probably. But I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be coming back to Hearts of Iron 4 anytime in the near future. I think this is going to be my last Hearts of Iron 4 series for quite some time, possibly. But yeah, I don't know. Let's just dig right into it. First off, I have some issues with simple things in the game that I feel should be different. For instance, like the fact that we can't get out of the war with the Allies when the only reason we were at war with the Allies is because we wanted our independence. I have a big issue with this, because it's like, for me, it seems like you should be able to, when you get this, or this one, when you get this one, you start a civil war for freedom. The problem is that the other India, the other half of India, or the other part of India, however big it is, stays in the Allies, and that's annoying. It should be an isolated war that they shouldn't be able to call allies into, except maybe just the UK or something, and then after that, then the war should be over. They need to figure out a way to make it so stuff like that can make more sense. What's another example? Let's say that you're playing as, you know, the Dutch East Indies, and you start a civil war for independence or something like that. Or let's say that you rebel against your overlord or something, kind of like an independence CB, which I think they do have now. If you wanted to do that, you would go to war with the Netherlands, and they would probably join the Allies, and then you'd be fighting the whole Allies. And that kind of sucks, because what if you were planning to go communist? You don't want to start a war between the Comintern and the Allies right off the bat. In fact, you might not even be able to join the Comintern, as is the problem here. And I really don't think there's any way that in this campaign we could even join them. So I kind of have a problem with that. There's like simple stuff like that. You should be able to do specific wars without having to fight the whole Allies and stuff. You know, there should be ways to do that, and I hate the fact that that does not work like it should, in my opinion. So that's one of the issues I have, and the reason that we're not going to be continuing this campaign is just because the plan was get free and then be able to build up a little more, go to war with Afghanistan maybe, and then join the Comintern and help fight the Axis. That was the main goal. Instead, we're fighting the Allies, who I didn't want to fight at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't understand why there's no way to, like, what about now? Once we've beaten India, in real life, if the Allies were at war with Germany and Italy in this situation, and they control most of Europe, why wouldn't we say, hey, UK, we'll peace out, so that way you can focus on Europe, and we'll have a truce with you, and we won't attack you. This way, it's like, oh, you just made another huge enemy that's going to eventually destroy you. It doesn't make any sense to me. And so that's one thing that I really don't like about the game. So that's like half of the rant, basically. That's one of the main reasons that we're not going to be continuing this campaign. But there's another one that might be even more bigger and core to the game. And that is that lots of times, I don't know why it is, but I find myself just not really getting into the game as immersed as I would like to. And I've talked about this before a little bit. I've talked about how I wish they would add more immersion flavor events and other things like that. But I think that beyond that, I feel like the core gameplay is not that fun because, like, well, you can see an example of why right now. The AI is so bad, so incompetent. They're moving away. It's like, oh, hey, I can just move in here, get some free land. I can just take this port, you know? Let's unpause. Watch this. Well, maybe not because they're moving troops into it, but watch. It's like they don't put up any resistance. And in my opinion, that's one of the biggest reasons that I get bored of the game. It's not even that I get bored. It's mostly like I never feel like I've gotten to the meat of the game. It feels like I'm like, oh, basically, let me give an example. Let's start. This is not a good example as this country because it's a little bit strange and unique. But let's say I'm playing as like Romania. If you're playing as majors, I think this problem is not as bad. But let's say you're playing as Romania or Hungary, right? And you go to war with Yugoslavia. Basically, in the early game, because the AI is so weak and so bad, you're basically like, okay, well, I'm just trying to finish this war as quickly as possible to minimize my losses so that I can have enough manpower for the whole rest of the world. And that's fine. But the problem I have with this is that when you're taking that attitude towards the game, it's not like you're in a fight for life or death like World War II was. And that's the thing, like Hearts of Iron 3 I think did it a lot better, and I don't know why. That's the problem, is that I don't even know why. So I'm not sure if it's just a problem with me maybe, but in Hearts of Iron 3 you actually felt like this is my country right here is going to die if I don't do this correctly. If I mess up, my country is going to die. At this point in this game, it's super rare that anyone with even a little bit of experience will die as one of these smaller countries unless they take on a country right off the bat that's going to kill them, like Germany. If you attack the Soviet Union as Hungary right off the bat, obviously you're going to die. But what I mean is, when you're in a country of equal size-ish, it's not a challenge, and so it feels almost like a grind to get leveled up. It feels like a MOBA kind of. You know, you're in a grind to get leveled up, but you're like, oh, just let me do this one war, and then we'll get to the real war where I'm going to be fighting a major power like Germany or the Soviet Union. And, you know, that would be fine, except for the fact that when you get to that major war, let's say we're playing as Hungary again, and let's say you conquer Yugoslavia, and that takes like a year. Romania takes like a year. It probably wouldn't take that long, actually, probably less, but still, it's a little bit of a grind. You're like, okay, well, just try to do this quick, and you're basically, you never get to sink your teeth into that war. You never have prolonged combat because the AI is so bad. You just keep pushing, and eventually they crumble, and the AI crumbles. You never feel like you get into a war where it's like you can really dig your teeth into and have to do advanced maneuvers against, or else you'll die. It's basically just like, okay, well, let's just keep pushing, push until I win, and then we'll go on to a bigger war. The problem with this is that once you get to a bigger war against someone like Germany, let's say you've conquered all the Balkans. You've conquered Yugoslavia, Romania, Bulgaria, Albania, Greece. If you manage to do that. You probably wouldn't, but in time. But still, let's say you do that without fighting a major power, right? So then you come in and you're like, okay, now we line up on the border of Germany and Italy all along here, right? And you're like, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get ready to invade, right? So you go ahead and you declare war. And the AI probably has some troops over here. If they don't, they'll probably rush some troops over. But then you basically just sit there and wait for the AI to make a mistake. Otherwise, yeah, you just wait for the AI to make a mistake. And it works like every time, basically. As long as you have enough troops to hold on for a defense, eventually they'll be like, oh, hey, we got to go stop the Allies from invading. Oh, hey, we got to go to the Soviet Union with all of our troops. And then they'll leave you wide open, you grab a whole bunch of land, wait, and then rinse and repeat. And that's one of the problems I have with the game, is that even then, against a major power, you're still not able to dig your teeth in because the AI is so inconsistent. Even if the AI literally just sat troops on the border the whole time and did a static, like, front line, that would be better than what it is now, in my opinion. Because then you would at least have to, like, make smart pushes and be like, okay, well, we're going to push in here and push in here. And it would really feel good, but as it is, I don't know. It just feels kind of weird to me. Another reason I think it feels like this to me is because of the way research is. Because it's a tree, you're always feeling like you're never going to be, like, basically you never feel like you're stopping upgrading. And I realize that that's obviously historical, but from a gameplay standpoint, I would prefer if it was like Hearts of Iron 3, where it's like you have this much research points per month, but you can kind of give yourself more but cut back on leadership. Give yourself more points and pump them into research, but you only are going to have limited research in the end. So you need to focus on certain things. And even if you focus on certain things, you're probably not going to reach the end. And it doesn't differ that much, but it differs in the sense that, for me, it's like, okay, well, don't want to produce too much of this one thing because I'm just going to have to get another one. And what that means is, like, I'm just kind of waiting until it gets to the end of the research tree, I'm just like, okay, well, let's just grind until we get to this point, and then we really start pumping it out, It doesn't make you feel like in 1939, 1940, up to 1942 and 43, basically until 44, when you get the last, like, models of stuff, and, like, naval models and stuff, you don't feel like you're actually starting the war yet. You feel like okay, this is a build-up phase and a research phase. When in reality, I think they should make some way for those years around the time we're at in the game now to feel like you've started the actual war. Because in my opinion, it just feels like in this part, you're just waiting until you get nukes or something, Something to speed it up. When in reality, this is when the core gameplay should be. It just doesn't feel fleshed out to me. I wish that they would make, that's my main criticism of the game right now, honestly, is that I wish they would make the AI good, because that's the main reason why. It's just the sufferings that the AI cause to the game, because you feel like, throughout the whole game, you're just going, it's like, okay, just push until we beat this person, and then we'll push until we beat the next person, and then eventually we'll have the whole world. But it doesn't feel like you're ever in a war, a fight to the death, that you can just dig your teeth into and be happy fighting in that one war. It's always like, okay, just finish this one so we can get on to the next one. And I don't know if that makes any sense, because maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a little bit, weird with the way I play the game. But I do think that it's something that other people have noticed too, where you're kind of like, you're never like, let's just focus on this war. It's always like, this war is gonna be won because the AI is so bad, so let's just focus on getting it over quickly so that we can get to the next war. I never feel like, okay, let's focus on this one front line here, push a little bit, and then wait, because we are going to be in this war a long time, and there's no need to rush, as weird as it sounds, because I know, obviously, in real life, they wanted to rush, but in the game, like in Hearts of Iron 3, it's like, the AI will punish you if you rush too much. In this game, not so much. And I feel that's one of the biggest shortcomings in this game right now. So I hope you guys understand. This has turned into a longer rant than I thought it would be, but that's kind of my main criticism of the game. Like I said, I dislike the fact that we have to be stuck in this war for the end of time, basically, until the Allies die, and then we probably even won't even be able to join the Comintern until they capitulate completely. That's one thing I have against the game. But there's other stuff too, and the main thing, again, is just this core thing where basically you always feel like you're just trying to rush to finish whatever war you're in. You don't feel like you should focus on that war and make that a big part of your energy. You don't feel like you need to put in a lot of energy into concentrating, micromanaging this one war. Whereas in Hearts of Iron 3 was by no means a perfect game, and there were still a lot of flaws with the AI, but I think there was more of a emphasis on you focusing. You have to focus on even the smaller wars and the smaller fronts, more micromanaging even, which is not a good thing always, but I think in some cases it is. And in Hearts of Iron 4, I don't think there's enough micromanaging. I don't think there's enough, like, focusing on what's at hand. Instead, you're always thinking of the future and looking at the next thing. I think one way they could probably do that is maybe cut back on the number of technologies. I don't even know if that's good, but maybe like just remove this thing completely, remove these things completely, or maybe just remove this completely and have a larger passive upgrade instead. So that way you can just be like, okay, I've done the research. Next 5 years, we don't need to focus on upgrading stuff so much. Instead, let's just focus on winning this war and playing smart. When it actually comes to the gameplay and the core mechanics and the warfare, I think it should be more focused on that, like, again, let's use the example of Hungary. Let's say we're going to go to war with Yugoslavia at the beginning of the game. It's like, if the AI was better, it wouldn't feel like, oh, Yugoslavia is just the first stepping stone. It would feel like, okay, we may or may not even beat Yugoslavia. We have to play smart. And by the time we beat Yugoslavia, the war's going to be mostly over. So let's just do what we can in this limited amount of time because of the fact that the AI is more of a challenge in this alternate universe. It'd be like, hey, let's see what we can do. Because that's what Hearts of Iron 3 was like to me. World conquest was not the goal. In this game, you could world conquest as almost anyone pretty, not easily, but fairly easily, honestly. Whereas in Hearts of Iron 3, it's like, okay, we have limited time. I'm not going to be able to conquer the world. So I'm going to do what I can. And so, and I think that's maybe one of the biggest things that I am just now thinking of as I'm saying it is like, you'd be like, okay, well, we have limited time and limited resources. I'm not going to be able to conquer the world like I am in this game. So let's go ahead and just focus on Yugoslavia. And you just put all your energy in. It's like, put all your energy in, and it's slow and gradual. And eventually, after a year, 2 years, 3 years of combat, you finally get Yugoslavia to capitulate, and you're like, yes, that was a huge thing, and look at my Hungary now, and now I'm even stronger, and I might have time to take out Romania and Bulgaria. And then it's the end of the game, and you're like, yes, look at this, I created a Balkan empire for myself, and whatever else happened in the world happened too. And there was more satisfaction there, whereas now it's like, oh, eat this person, eat that person, eat everyone eventually. But each war has much less weight attached to it. And that's the biggest thing I have to do with the game. That's basically all I have to say. And that's why I will probably not be playing Hearts of Iron 4 for a while on YouTube or probably in my own time. I just have not had as much fun with it. I might play Hearts of Iron 3, honestly. Go back and play that. I think Hearts of Iron 3 is a better game in its current state than Hearts of Iron 4 is. I love the graphics of this game. The interface and stuff it's much easier to understand, but I really think that the core mechanics are not where they need to be for me to want to play it more. Together for Victory is a good expansion. I like what they've added. It adds on a lot. You could get a lot of playtime out of it, and I think I probably would enjoy playing as Australia, and I probably will in like South Africa and stuff, and I probably will be playing some more of this expansion on my stream, so feel free to come watch me stream the game. I'm probably going to do multiplayer. That's what's going to make it fun for me on stream. But I think for now, this game is going on the shelf as far as single-player YouTube campaigns and off-camera campaigns go. So, that's my thoughts on it. That's my 2 cents. This was actually a normal-length episode, basically, where we didn't have any gameplay. So, hopefully you enjoyed and understand where I'm coming from. I realize that not necessarily all my complaints are objective. They are subjective things that I find wrong with the game. I would love to know your opinion. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I have the right idea when it comes to why the game is not necessarily where it should be? I really want to know your opinions. So please go ahead and tell me in the comments below. This is only a very short series, but I mean, we did break free and stuff. Part of that is because my processor is much faster. We can make it to war quicker, but and we used to be able to. So either way, though, I have enjoyed my time with Hearts of Iron 4. Don't get me wrong. I like it. It's a good game. I just don't think it's a game I can play anymore in its current state and get any more enjoyment out of. It's too grindy. Feels like a MOBA. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is going to be the end of the series, so we can move on to other stuff that I will probably enjoy more, like Vicky 2. Be looking out for that. There should be probably a new series of either Vicky 2 or HoI4 sometime in the next couple of days, along with my new, HoI4 series of Colonial Conquest, which is a Netherlands campaign. So if you like that, go watch that instead of this. You will probably enjoy that too, if that's your thing. And I hope to see you guys in whatever else I do. So until now, until later on, goodbye, Hearts of Iron 4, and I will see you guys in the next episode of whatever I do. So until next time, bye-bye.